So, hello and welcome back to today's episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. A little bit stumbling around here in the intro. And as you can see in the background, we are today on the paulminus.com website. I just click, now you can see it a little bit better, a little bit more easier. We are on the paulminus.com website. I still did not kind of edit the template that I'm always having on YouTube and or for the podcast as well, so that there's actually always the common websites that I'm probably on in the episode. So I will hopefully do this in a few episodes, I hope. We are going to talk about Top of Mind by John Hull or whatever it is pronounced. This is a book dedicated to, and I'm gonna read the small summary of it. Top of Mind is a book for business leaders, public speakers, social media influencers, thought leaders, personal brands, and any company that wants to build meaningful relationship with its audience and industry influencers through a powerful content strategy, which is basically all the things that I'm kind of applying to myself. And therefore I kind of felt like, okay, I'll choose it. Maybe there's something I can learn from it. Maybe there's something that you can learn from it. I looked it up once on Amazon to see whether it's actually a good book, whether the reviews are great, if this is actually a book that is some kind of popular, if I can just pretty much expect a lot from it or not. I just looked it up, and I found 60 people have actually bought it on Amazon, which is fairly a low amount. I don't know if it was the German website of Amazon or if it was the real the .com website, which is always a little bit of a struggle, because you can definitely find English books on the German website as well, but the Amazon.com website is still the one with the most with the most summaries, not summaries but reviews, or I just expect that there are just more reviews than on the German website. So who is this book for? Top of Mind is a book for business leader. This is exactly the same thing as just before. So about the author, John Hull is the CEO and co-founder of Influence & Co., a tech-enabled content marketing agency that helps brands and individuals extract and leverage their expertise to create, publish, and distribute content to gain influence, visibility, and credibility with their key audiences. He is consistently mentioned in major publications as a top influencer, leader, and speaker. For example, Forbes I've seen. He seems to have spoken in Forbes, which I think basically just means that there was an article about him in the Forbes magazine. So in the summary, I loved how practical and in-depth this book was. In the summary, we will explore how the consumer landscape has changed through inbound marketing and branding, how to build an authentic, transparent, and consistent personal brand, and how to be valuable and top of mind to your audience through content. Ready? Let's go. The whole inbound marketing, if you're not familiar with it, this is basically something that didn't get started, but it definitely kind of got spread by HubSpot, I think it's called. I do not know. It's definitely a website and also I think an agency, so a marketing agency. And inbound marketing basically means just some kind of just approaching the whole sale thing with actually just doing the best for the customer, just being really great to the customer, giving what they actually want, and just making it some kind of a friend. And then in the further steps it will be a customer, and then it will be a loyal customer and whatsoever. So this is just really based on being kind and giving this customer what he or she actually wants or what he or she actually needs, and so on. So it's basically kind of based on not being a fucked up person, fucking with people's money or people in general. So how to stay on top of mind? The consumer landscape today. Credibility is the new currency. Consumers want real human connection, the kind they can get only from other people, not from some soulless corporate brand. People don't care about your products and services, they care about their needs. That's why it's important to ask the following questions. Am I delivering real value to my customers every day outside the main products and services that I offer? Do I understand the real needs and pain points of my customers and prospects? If my customers are having a significant problem, would they think of and contact me first? And do my customers look and trust me? If potential customers, clients are thinking about you at the moment they begin looking for a solution for their needs, you are at a distinct competitive advantage. That's the definition of being on top of mind brand, of being a top of mind brand. And this totally makes sense. I think these questions are one of the most valuable questions you can ask yourself if you're really a business owner, or you're just having a business, or if you're just having a business. But also if you're just having a personal brand, or just if you're an influencer. I think this just really applies to a lot of things that you might be working at, because it just makes sense. It just makes sense that you understand your target audience, you know what their pain points are, you know what they need, and so that you can actually provide all those things, that you can pretty much make sure that actually, if you're just, okay, you know their needs, you know what their pain points are, you know what they just, really want, and what their problems are, then creating a solution, this is just real value for these people. And this just makes it so obvious that these people will follow you, or these people will buy your product, or these people will become your customers. If you're really having a great solution, a solution that will just really, 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 really solve the problem. But how can you stay on top of mind? The first one is listen to your target audience and create an open-ended conversation that is as dynamic as your customer base. So what do they value? What's important to them? The second one is craft the way you engage and communicate with the audience, or with this audience, around content triggers. And the third one is repeat. This way, valuable content pulls people toward your company and product the moment they are looking for a solution to their problem. Inbound marketing, which is in brackets. 4 steps of inbound marketing. The first one is attract. And this is basically, I think, just the steps that I just before was willing to pretty much explain. I've been thinking about and just reading about inbound marketing quite often. And this is, I think, some kind of the trend we're having nowadays. Nowadays it's just really going towards just being nice to the customer, just having advertisement that they actually care about, just providing the best for the customer. So it's quite also always about the customer. It's all around the customer. So which is, at my point of view, definitely great. It hasn't been always like this. This is also something that I found through my little kind of research, and through the books that I've been going through, and through the people that I've been listening to, that it wasn't like this all the time. Even my marketing teacher in school said that some years ago, advertising was more about actually explaining what this fucking product can do for you. It wasn't about just pretty much, which is the nowadays tactic of selling something, or just advertising tactic, which is pretty much selling feelings and selling experience. Not experience, but sorry. Not experience, but it's not experiences. Is it experience? So it's basically just, it's just only about feelings, and just giving people something to just be, to be happy about, I think. If it's not a fucking experience, never mind. So definitely feelings. So 4 steps of inbound marketing. The first one is attract. First, you attract your target audience, usually to your website, through compelling, helpful, and engaging content. There could be insightful think pieces. They could be insightful think pieces, enlightening how-to videos, live updates from a real-time event, an article on an external industry publication, and so on. So basically, I would just say what your target audience just really wants to have. A lot of audience just want videos. Videos in general are just pretty powerful, because at my point of view, all humans in general they're definitely more like visual than anything else. So I think in general, just going for a video, going through animated content is just pretty great. And I totally see it on Instagram as well, and in general on social media, that video is just the best way to go. There's nothing to nothing to really just talk about or just complain about or whatsoever. It is what it is. And but besides the whole fact, it's always about what your target audience is like. Some target audiences just would like to have a really, really big text or article to go through with a lot of information, with a lot of insights whatsoever. Some might just want a really tiny article. Some maybe want just an Instagram picture that's really compelling and it's really just looking nice. And some other just audiences do just only want to have something like an audiobook or just something like audio they can listen to while they're doing something else. I would just really say that you should provide some content that is really compelling to the audience and that the audience just really likes and would like to interact with. The second one is convert. Once they're on your website, it's time to build trust by giving them more valuable resources like white papers, ebooks, etc., and not a hard sell. In exchange for the contact information, the goal is to position yourself as the best resource for them when they are ready to buy. The third one is close. To turn your leads into customers, nurture the relationship through personalized communication based on how they are interacting with your content and company. Keep detailed records in your customer relationship management (CRM) system and track your performance. And the fourth point and the last one is delight. Sometimes sales teams lose interest after getting a customer. That's a bad move, and that's totally a bad move because it doesn't mean that a customer just bought something that they actually don't want to buy something from you again. So therefore, always just caring about the people, always just giving them some valuable content, giving them some valuable emails, what they're actually just willing to open, what they're willing to look forward to next fucking email. Because most of the time, to be really honest, no fucking body just really opens their emails. I think. So I'm not doing it. I've heard that it might be some kind of 3%, 4% of people actually just opening their fucking emails. And this is just amazing. And this might be because we always just have gotten so many emails that were just bullshit in them and they're just not valuable to us or were not valuable to us. Nothing hurts your new client more than feeling used like you were only ever interested in the sale. Instead, transform your customers into promoters of your brand with continuous, valuable, and relevant content. The conclusion: people have problems. That's totally true, and they first search online to learn more about what people have to say and arm themselves with as much information as possible before ever looking for buying solutions. Valuable content and inbound marketing helps you be the person or the company they will first talk to. And that's totally true. I think this is totally interesting and totally great that he actually points out that people actually search for the solutions online. So the first thing is what they're doing, they search for the best solution, they search for the best product, and they pretty much evaluate what is the best one, and then they make the buy. Eventually, maybe not, maybe they just find so much great content that they actually do not have to buy anything, but just going through this certain content, which is great. But this is one of the things that I think a lot of companies do not think about, that people actually just, I don't know, they just go online and search for information, just look for what they actually want to do. This is actually something that I've been speaking about in another context a few episodes ago. But I think I will just move on with this because I'm, first of all, interested in it. I do think there's something coming up that's pretty fucking giving value to you. So I care about the value. The second one is creating a trustworthy brand. Why trust is important. Trust is a living, breathing, and emotional bond that connects people to one another. It's intimate, personal, and powerful. In a world where it seems like everyone is out to pitch, scam, or screw you, it is also a rare and precious commodity. There are no shortcuts to gaining someone's trust. If you don't make a long-term commitment to keeping the fire going, it will quickly burn out. There are at least 7 touch points for creating trust. The first one is authenticity, and this is definitely true if people just really recognize. And I would say in general, people have a really great sense for other people being not authentic, being like just really shitty, just as their real person, and so on. So I do quite feel like that people actually feel as well when people are not really honest to them, and if people just really want to fuck with them and all the other negative things. I do just think that just people feel it in general. The second one is helpfulness. The third one is likability. The fourth one is familiarity. The fifth one is brand and thought leadership. The sixth one is content triggers, and the seventh one is education. Let's analyze below the most important touch points. Helpfulness. When you help people out, rather than treating them as extensions of your business plan, your interactions become friendly, genuine, and infused with humanity. And therefore, this is actually something that I found pretty great when I first saw it, which is all these bots on websites where you can actually, just write these bots, and they will just, spit out some of the best advice they have for you, or spit out where you can find certain things on their website. I do believe that this is one of the things that every single company will have in the near future, and it's also something other people have talked about. I do not know whom. I think it was actually Gary Vee, like fucking always. But I think it's great. I totally think it's great, and it is just the problem about it might be that there are always going to be less work and less work and less work, because a lot of the things we just need are just kinda exchanged for robots, or just AI or whatever you want to call it, and all these human beings do just have to do something else. I'm not saying I'm not being so kinda, is it cynical? I do not even know what this means, but I think it just sounds great. So just use it. Now, what I actually mean is, I do not want to be so negative or whatsoever that, all the robots and the AI will take all our jobs and, whatever. I do not know if this will be the truth for my time of living, and I think I'll hopefully live for just a really long time. I'm not gonna, screwed it up for me. No, but I do think that there will be a lot of jobs that we can do as humans, but I still think there are a lot of great jobs that robots or AI can do. For example, on these websites, just being a great help for the people that are on the website searching for something, and not really able or not really willing to just talk to the people or whatsoever, which is also just taking up a little bit time for them actually responding. The AI is actually a little bit faster and whatsoever. So I in general think that it is great. So how to be helpful? Share knowledge. It's what humans have been doing forever. Learn something new and share it with others. Connect people with what they value. You can help a person only if you know what kind of help they would find valuable. Come right out and ask. Share resources. Mobilize your idle assets in creative ways to help your contacts. What resources do you or your company have that you can share? Make people aware of opportunities. A well-timed opportunity can change someone's life. That's definitely the truth. Make people aware of opportunity. I've read that. Offer transparent feedback. When you offer it to someone, you're saying, I take you seriously and I want to help you succeed. Become a brand advocate. Stand up for someone else's brand and brand advocacy to create a direct path to the top of their mind. Provide referrals. Like brand advocacy, referrals invite people to establish direct connections with your company, which generates trust. Volunteer your personal time. Devoting your personal time to help others is meaningful and memorable because time is both precious and scarce. Recognize people. Good work should be recognized. When you have a good experience with someone from another company, email their boss about it. Definitely a great way to go. And I think in general, just praising other people's just moves or other people's activities in front of other people in general, if it's personal, if it's I think more personal than online, because online it's something that a lot of people do, and it's just the same thing with Instagram, and I especially know it with Instagram. You're just posting some shit and every single person just comments, yeah, great post, I like it, check out mine, or some shit like this. And then people wonder why no the fuck just really wants to go to their content and check it out. No one will do it. unless they're really big and maybe they have such a a blue piece or blue what is it called actually? Some blue flower kind of thing next to the name that might make them a little bit more interesting than 99.9% of the other people that are swearing around on Instagram. But the thing is, just commenting some useless shit, and especially then advertising yourself as well on top of the whole shit, is just really something that I do just think about, like, why do people do this? They are first of all spending a lot of money, maybe even because it's automated and it's just, probably it's automated. Then they just lose a lot of time and they get basically nothing from it, maybe a little bit. I'm thinking like, okay, if it's automated and they really do it on a lot of fucking posts, it might be like that they're actually kind of having a ROI off of it. But in general, I do think, no, it's definitely not something that you should be doing. Rather take your time, a little bit more time, 1 hour more, to just write useful comments on your people's content, or really answer questions on other people's content, which is also a great way to go, and just help those people out with what you have to say and with your knowledge, and this will create reputation. These people will just find helpful because we're talking about helpfulness, what you have to say and what you can offer them. So you create a value. You're just you're just coming up to them, just telling them something that they actually need. And why wouldn't they just then check out your stuff if they got some value from you? And the whole recognizing people thing is in another context also pretty important, just actually knowing people's names. I do often see it in schools where just teachers always say then, okay, I'm just having to memorize so many fucking names, it's not possible for me, and whatsoever. I still think, and this is actually, I think, standing also in How to Win Friends and Influence People, that a person's name is actually pretty valuable to them. And one of the things that piss me off just pretty extremely are when people just tell me with the wrong name, because I'm actually called Christopher, and in German there is just another name which is Christoph, like without the E and R, and a lot of people just think that I'm a Christoph, but I'm not, and this really pisses me off every single time when people get it wrong. And I just really say to them, okay, there's an ER, and then they will come up and say, okay, is it so important to you? I've stumbled across this, to be really honest. And then I think like, what, for sure a name is just important to people. I've been living with my name for 18 years now. And I think with every single year you're just having this name, it is just a part of your life. It's just a part of you. And, a lot of people might not like the name. This could also be true. And a lot of people will like the name. And you're just, I think, insulting them if you're just not just naming them with their right name. And or if you just, do not in general name them with any name, which was actually the point that I wanted to make with teachers, that they just, call you like, just tell me. Sometimes, I shouldn't complain, because this is something not to complain about. There's totally something way worse than just being called a wrong name, or having your name pronounced the wrong way or some shit like this. But I think it's still important, especially when you're dealing with people that might be relevant for your business or for yourself, just, really just telling them and really just naming them with their, exact name, and being sure that you actually approach them in a correct way. I think a name is something that's so important for people. And as I said, I think you would insult them if you just, call them with another name or pronounce it, wrongly. Give gifts. Give gifts that are deeply meaningful to the person and come with no strings attached. Personalized experiences. The more personalized you can make your audience's experiences, the more special and valued you will help them feel. That's definitely true. Just, sending them, and this is the exact same thing with what I've been talking about before, which was just commenting meaningful shit with, everybody knows that it is some kind of automated, and everybody knows that a lot of people will still get this single comment. The funny thing is, I'm always getting, just in a week, I'm putting out 70 posts in a week, And I always see these certain people that are commenting always the same shit on my post. I still engage with them, but because I do just think like, okay, this is great for my for the algorithm that people actually see my content a little bit more when I'm having more comments. Therefore, I'm just not going to just delete it or prevent my page from being just commented by them. But I still just think like, I've never ever, and I think never ever just check out what they did. Maybe I have because they were so pissing me off that I actually thought like, okay, do they actually provide something? And most of the time, no, they just, do certain shit and at the end, it's not something that's pretty valuable for me. And I think maybe it is valuable for other people, but it wasn't for me. And the last one is, how can I be helpful to you? Simply close each conversation by asking this. People will feel appreciation, a letter to the top of mind position. Definitely. I pretty much like this book by now, I think. And this is definitely not something that I will always say. There are a lot of books which are just, even though, this is some common sense, to be honest, but to really be honest, a lot of the times just all these common sense things just really seem not so common sense if you just read them. And a lot of people just forget them. I forget them myself as well. And it's also always great to just, get reminded on the really basic shit and just get reminded on something that's common sense or seems to be common sense, but that's actually important. Helpfulness exercise. To truly make helpfulness your second nature, you need to integrate it into every aspect of your life and engage with people through multiple touch points regularly. Think of 3 people you are close to, friends, family, co-workers you see every day. What do you know about them and their current problems and or challenges? What can you do to make their lives easier? And is there anything you can do to connect them to a valuable opportunity? And I think the last point is one of these that a lot of people do just miss out, which is just connecting them to a valuable opportunity. And I think if you're having a business, this is also the thing you should be doing. If it's, even if it's just really letting them go to the to your competitors, just being like, okay, my product that I'm just offering just isn't fitting you or isn't just giving you as much value and or isn't just the right product for you and what you're searching for. And then coming up and like just being, okay, you just check out this product. This is just from a competitor, but I know this will just fit you and I know this will be great for you. Isn't this a great feeling, first of all, for the fucking customer and second of all for you? Isn't this just, wouldn't you just feel great if you just know you can provide something for another people, even if it's not a person, even if it's not from you, if it's not produced by you, if it's not from your company, but you still know that this is actually providing value to this person and this is actually solving her or his problem. I think even though it's just really hard giving away customers, but I do still think on the other hand, if you're just giving them a product or just, selling them a product that's, that might not fit their, their expectations fully, I think they won't come back. But if you're like, okay, please go to the other party and just see what they have and maybe you can find something there, I think really just tells them, okay, I care about you. I do therefore think that people will come back. And yeah. So this was actually a story, or actually some thoughts that I do have from Gary Vee, which is always a great thing if you just, listen to a lot of inspiring voices, that you just can get a lot from them. And I just do memorize a lot what they say. I memorize nothing. I forget quite everything, really everything, which is just, it's a little bit scary for me already. But some of the things Gary said and some of the things that a lot of other, if it's motivational speakers or in general businessmen said, they're just really in my brain and they just really kind of are with me on my journey to just being the greatest version of myself. And I do just, this just also provides me with the ability to add more value to what I'm telling here, to what I'm speaking about here, which is definitely a great thing. But so he, if you notice, he once was a business owner of a wine store, or yeah, okay, let's say business owner, I will just say it. There was once a time, which is actually the same exact podcast episode or this little snippet that I was, pretty much listening to today, which is the funny thing. And that was a customer, and he or she might have just, looking for a certain product or a certain wine. And he just came up to the person and said, like, okay, this is not a wine that's fulfilling your needs. It's not, a problem solving product. And he just, sent them to another person, to the to the competition, because he knew that they have a better product for them. And this was just incredible for me. If I just heard it the first time, I was like, it is tough, it is tough definitely as a business owner, but it just shows that you really care about the people you're serving, that you really care about the people you're just dealing with. And yeah. I'm just thinking about if I should go on with it a little bit, at least for the second point, or the next point that's coming up there is transparency and likability. But the following point would be then how to be likable. So I do quite feel like, okay, these 2 points will just stick together or should be stick together. And therefore, I think I let it be it. At least I'm pretty much, I think I'm just, a little bit getting down to some kind of a 30-minute episodes every single day, which is, I think, nothing that's too bad, to be honest, because in 30 minutes you can talk a lot about, and which is, totally great. And I do think that's not too long for the people on YouTube. It is kind of great for the people who are listening to the podcast, I think. So there are actually podcast episodes which are just lasting for 2 hours, from Tim Ferriss, and I think a lot of other people as well. But I don't know, in general, I would say podcast episodes are longer, but I don't know, what's working the best. But I will know when I do just have an audience with quite a few people, and they will just tell me that I'm so looking forward to it when I just can't tell them or ask them, what do you need? And I will then just, make videos based on these things that my audience actually needs. Because the problem that I'm having is that I actually do not know. Maybe I'm just not listening enough. It might be just a fact. Maybe I'm just not listening enough, but I'm currently not pretty much knowing what my people or what my audience actually needs. And yeah. But yeah, with that being said, this is the end of the episode. Do not forget to think about your legacy. Legacy is important, and just keep yourself, remind yourself on giving back to the people. If it's in your progress, if it's after your progress, you just have to give back to the people something, or to the world, or to somebody else whatsoever. But yeah, I still wish you the best wealth, health, happiness, and success, especially happiness. And yeah, see you tomorrow. I wish you a wonderful night or day, and I see you. Yeah, and I love you.